Mother Teresa says something interesting. Somebody asked her once, when you pray, what are you doing? And she said, when I pray, I listen. And so they asked her, well, what does God say? And she said, God is listening also. I love the idea of a kind of mutual listening. St. Teresa of Avila says something similar. She talked about 3 levels of prayer. The first level is what we think of, I call sometimes kind of Old Testament prayer, which you're kind of praying to a psychological God, petitioning. I sometimes think of Emo Phillips, who one time said, I prayed for a new bicycle and then I learned the Lord doesn't work that way. So I stole one and asked for forgiveness. But that first kind of prayer is, I think, what we often think of. This is the second time I've stacked this wood pile. The whole thing fell down on me. I feel like that's a lot of life on the farm, is seemingly acts of futility. You know, you might spend 2 days planting 100 plants, only to have them die a week later in a heat wave. Or I might spend an entire day trimming mistletoe out of a tree. And nobody ever knows except me and the tree and the birds that eat the mistletoe berries. But St. Teresa talks about that first level of prayer, praying to a psychological God, praying to a kind of Old Testament notion of God. And then she talks about the second level of prayer, which is more similar to what Mother Teresa is talking about, a kind of mutual listening. And try this sometime. It's really interesting. It's easier to do it with another person, but you can do it with things like the earth. Like touch the earth or touch a tree, but easier to do with another person, where you touch somebody and you can feel yourself touching them, but also try to feel them touching you. Try to feel the mutuality of it. Try to realize that it's a two-way dynamic. It's like the opposite of objectification. It's a kind of tuning into the mutuality. So that's the second phase that both Mother Teresa and St. Teresa talk about. And then the third way that St. Teresa talks about prayer is unitive, a kind of union with the divine. And in that union there is no subject and object. There is no you touching. At that point there's only touching. So first there's petitioning, then there's mutual presence, and then there's only presence. I don't even know how to talk about that. So in the futility of work here, I'm trying to slowly just let the work be the reward itself. Like stacking this may fall down. I already see a weak point over there, but the whole thing may fall down soon. So I have about 3 more wheelbarrow loads. Can this work itself right now be the reward? And can I come back tomorrow and see the whole thing knocked over and not be disappointed? The answer right now is no. I would be disappointed. But the question is, can I get to a place where the actual presence of being here right now, stacking wood, is the reward in and of itself. I'm not sure. You see the koan. The koan is really, can I make the work itself a type of prayer? Can I create a kind of mutuality? You see, when I touch my arm, like we were saying, can I feel that typically I feel like my fingers touching my wrist. Can I feel my wrist touching my fingers? Try it. Try it right now. It's a tricky thing. It involves a key skill in meditation, which the great meditation teacher Shayla Catherine sums up so beautifully. Meditation is not about the accumulation of accomplishments, but the refinement of relinquishment. So it's this deep skill of, we would call maybe surrender. So in the stacking wood, in the loading wood, can I feel my hands touching the wood? Can I listen to the quality of the sound? Can I be receptive enough where the actual work itself becomes a type of prayer?